American English, common use of Caucasian refers to anyone who is descended from Europeans, but in actuality, Caucasian can refer to anyone from populations of Europe, North Africa, West, Central, and South Asia, regardless of skin tone. The Caucasian concept was first conceived by Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, a German scientist and anthropologist. He named it for the Caucasus Mountains and his admiration for the fair-skinned people there, which he thought were the archetype for humanity. Of course, he was wrong, as humanity came from Africa and migrated outward. White skin evolved out of an increased need to synthesize more vitamin D from sunlight. As humanity originally came from Africa, our bodies were very dark in order to provide protection from the sun's ultraviolet light. Africa has extremely hot and sunny environments, and because of this, exposure to the sun's ultraviolet light can cause severe damage to skin cells. Animals usually protect themselves from the sun's harsh ultraviolet light with thick fur, spending time in water and mud, and with a skin pigment called melanin. Melanin possesses excellent photoprotectant properties. It absorbs the harmful UV radiation and transforms it into heat, which is harmless. Melanin can dissipate more than 99.9% of the absorbed UV radiation as heat. This prevents DNA damage and mutations, which can result in life-threatening skin cancers. Vitamin D is normally synthesized by the skin from exposure to UV light. Since melanin converts a high percentage of UV light into heat, vitamin D absorption from sunlight is also reduced. This can be both a good thing and a bad thing. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. Unlike water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C, which are excreted out of the body in urine, fat-soluble vitamins simply collect in the body. At high dosages, concentration of fat-soluble vitamins can be toxic, and it's possible to overdose and die from them. So in sunny environments, dark skin is also a benefit as it reduces the vitamin D synthesized so toxic levels are not produced. However, when in colder environments, vitamin D deficiencies will occur. Vitamin D deficiencies result in diseases such as rickets and osteoporosis. As such, humans evolved lighter skin when they migrated to colder environments like Europe, which resulted in greater synthesis of vitamin D. In anthropology, Caucasoid race is an antiquated term that was divided into three groups on linguistic grounds: Aryan, Semitic, and Hamitic. Aryan in this sense includes all the Indo-European languages including Punjabi, Bengali, Hindi, and Urdu. This of course means that people that inhabit the Indian subcontinent are in fact Caucasian. This fact was used to argue a United States Supreme Court case in 1923 named United States versus Bhagat Singh Thind. At the time in America, only free Caucasians were permitted to become naturalized citizens. Bhagat argued that as an Indian he belonged to the Aryan and therefore Caucasian race. The court decided that while anthropologically he was indeed Caucasian, it did not meet the everyday understanding of what Caucasian means to the average American person, which of course means simply having white skin and being descended from European ancestry. In addition, they pointed out that anthropologists could not agree on what exactly was a Caucasian, with some ethnologists discrediting the Aryan theory. In addition, Associate Justice George Sutherland argued that Aryans in the Punjabi region were not able to maintain the purity of their Aryan blood, and have intermixed with the darker-skinned Dravidians that also inhabited the Indian subcontinent. Of course, this ignoring the fact that many American citizens who identify as white also have Native American and African blood in them, even at the time of the court case. The court's decision was only overthrown after World War II when support for Indians grew, and President Truman signed the Luce-Celler Act in 1946, which reversed the previous court's ruling. Today, the term Caucasian is rarely used in the academic field, both in anthropology, where race is seen as a purely social construct, and also in medical science, where response to drugs can vary depending on ethnicity, found broad classifications like Caucasian extremely unhelpful. So now you know better, and that was Enigma Hood's Greatest Misconceptions.